Welcome back. If you haven't seen my videos before, I'm Ross the Oliver Man, and today we're going to tackle this lift arm seal on the 1855. If you followed that whole series of videos on putting Power Beyond on, which turned into quite the ordeal, I told you at the end of one of those that I'm pretty sure this one is leaking slightly, so it would probably be a good idea to go ahead and replace it. And to do that, we need to get the pin out of here so we can set the lift arm down. There's a snap ring on the end of here, and we should be able to slide this off the shaft. But we also need to drain the hydraulic oil, because right inside on the other side is the hydraulic reservoir. So we don't want to lose all of our new oil. So we'll go ahead and do that, and then maybe we can power wash it one more time and finally put the sheet metal back on. So let's get started. It's probably a good idea to do this anyway, because I think I want to grease up all these linkage pins. I may take more out and do that while I have it this far. All right. We might as well go drain the oil right now. We better do that before I forget. So if you remember, there is an Allen-headed plug up under here. And if we take that loose, we should be able to hit the funnel and drain our oil out. So let's give that a shot. And the nice thing is I put it in with a long ratchet, so that's good. Come on. There we go. See if we can hit the funnel. We can. That's good. Well, we'll let that do its thing here for a little bit. It's kind of cold, so it'll probably take a little bit to get it empty. I don't think we'll get quite 5 gallons out of it, because we had a lot of stuff apart, and by the time it filled all the new lines and stuff, it was actually not on the stick anymore. So I would say that we won't get the full 5 gallons out of it, because we actually need to add more oil anyway. But I figured we'd wait to do that till after we did this repair, so we didn't have to take out any more oil unnecessarily. So we'll work on getting this snap ring out of that groove, and then by then hopefully our oil will be out and we can pull this off of here. We got our fancy snap ring pliers. I don't know. Oh, they're made in USA, so that's good. They're not Chinesium, so that's nice. Now we just have to figure out how to get our fatness in here to get this off of here. And that is not an easy task. And another problem it looks like we're going to have is they do not open wide enough. So we'll probably be doing this old school with a screwdriver. We'll probably be doing this with a screwdriver. We'll probably be going to get a second screwdriver, because this isn't going to work. We'll probably be taking our top link out of the way, because I'm sick of it hitting me in the head. These shafts have a blind spline, which is basically a wider groove on one part. So hopefully we can use that to our advantage and get behind it, under it. There we go. And this has enough spring in it that it'll knock your teeth out, so be sure to smile real big while you're doing this. There we go. No teeth were harmed. Now, ooh, we might get lucky. I knew it looked like it was moving, so that was good. But sometimes the shafts are twisted enough that they don't slide off of there. I think I'm gonna clean that up a little bit and get some of the grease off so that we can pull it off of here. Hey, there we go. Oh, and we even have enough room with the fender tank. How lucky can a guy get? It is a little wet down under here, so I think it probably was leaking. Really though, still kind of dirty. I don't know what I can get in there to clean it with either. Patience. That's something that, a tool I don't like to use, so. Well. So here's our brand new seal, if you're needing one of those. And I'm going to take it out of the bag and just make sure that it's the right one, because that would really be a bad deal to get to the point where we can't do anything. So let's just give it a little check over here. There we go. At first glance, it looks correct. You see the splines are a little bit lower than the sealing surface of the seal, so it should slip over the splines no problem. So now we have to get the old seal out, and the best way to do that is to put a screw in it and start prying. Let's see if this will work. Now, it's gonna be a hard pry, I'm sure. Oh, well, need to get a little bit more stout of a pry bar. I should also mention that a slide hammer would probably work great for this, but as you can see, there's no room to do that. That wasn't a very good bite with the old screw. Let's try it again. Worst case scenario is we drill enough holes in this seal that there's nothing left. So, come on. It doesn't like cooperating. Let's see. There we go. Let's try that. That's in there way too deep and I can't even get a hold of it now. Come on, seal. You're coming. You can do it. Don't let anyone tell you you can't. Come on. Come on. You're coming. We're making progress. Our biggest problem is our power takeoff linkage is right in our way. Probably if a guy was smarter and he didn't put it in exactly that spot when he drilled the screw in. Would probably really help. There we go. I think we got her licked. There we go. One old seal. Really doesn't look that bad, but it was leaking at the bottom. You can tell it's kind of wore, especially right here near the screw hole. It's really got a lot of wear, so you know that probably was an issue. Ha. I'm checking out the sealing surface, and it doesn't look too bad. So I think we will live to seal another day. That's good. And I think I'm going to use the mechanic's friend of grease and just grease the crap out of this so that it doesn't cut itself going on. And I also need to get myself a piece of something probably to help drive it on here. Piece of pipe. Really don't have a lot of room though, so might end up taking the fender off anyway. I don't know. We'll figure something out though. And most people probably don't mention it, but the spring side of the seal goes towards the oil, so that's how that works. And that's pretty well standard on almost every seal. There's a few occasions, like for instance on our wiper seal on our cylinder. In that case, we want to keep stuff out instead of in, so you put it in the other way. Let's just grease this all up. I mean, can you have too much lube? I mean, yeah, just smear it on there. I mean, it'll get rid of what it doesn't want. It'll probably dry in there and harden up, and I'll never get another seal in it again, so. But that's fine. I mean, I'll probably be dead by the time this needs another one, so. Well, that's not a very tight fit. I can just about push it in there myself. Maybe just a few little taps with something to get it around evenly. See what I can come up with. Always use the right tool for the job, so we're going to use a woodworking hammer and try to side hit it in here because there's not enough room. There's not enough room for my fat head in here either with the camera there, so we're going to put the camera there so that I can enjoy watching how I screwed this up later from a view that I couldn't see. Have we screwed it up yet? Kind of, maybe. I don't know. I'm not happy about that spot there, but at least we know it's all lubed up and it'll come out when I have to put a second one in, so we're just gonna roll with it. Well, that's better than what we had. Time will tell whether this was a worthwhile endeavor, but we'll put this arm back on and then we can put the oil back in it. Well, we'll put this on here. Find our blind spline. Come on. We'll put this on here and find our blind spline. We'll put this on here. Find our blind spline. There we go. Okay. Not bad. So, now, what we'll do is we will put the snap ring back on. Come on, there we go. If we can hold that down in there, somehow maneuver this, I think we'll get it. Okay. Go. Come on. Nope. That's fun. It's hard to do and also have the camera here. I'm gonna have to move you. I can always zoom in later if it looks bad. There. You mean it was almost that simple? It's not on the bottom, but we'll do some woodworking here, and I bet we can fix that. There we go. That's in there. Is it in there? Yeah. Should be. Looks like it. Maybe. Probably not. See if we can push it in the groove. Yeah. I would feel better if it, there we go. If it'll turn in the groove, it's probably in the groove. So there we go. So we'll go with that. Now, as I said before, I think I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of grease in here as we reassemble, and maybe even take the other one out. When I did that video where we worked on the lengthening of the linkage here, I noticed it would squeak when I would pull up on it or anything, so I think it's probably a good idea to put something in here. You know, that way it'll attract more dirt and wear faster, so we'll do that. How much is the right amount? Too much. That's what it is. You see, totally unnecessary amount of grease. But, hey, that's the way it goes. Sometimes I've seen these pins be stuck in this cast block, but luckily they are not on this tractor. Yeah, and they use the ever wonderful E-clip, which I never was much of a fan of, but that's the way that goes. They really didn't use it as much as some of the other tractor manufacturers. There we go. That's all lubed up. Now we might as well take this pin out and do the same thing. Let's do this. Hey, how about that? Come on. There we go. Perfect. Now we'll do the other side for good measure. Interesting camera work there, looking at my sleeve. Oscar material. Pretty soon I'll be in the big time. Be sooner that I'd be in the big house than the big time. So. kind of, sort of, maybe. Perfect. Like a new one. Do some cleanup work here. That'll all be covered with dirt when we use it in the field. But hopefully it won't wear out our little piece here. Somebody in the comments is saying, why didn't you paint that line? I mean, what do you think this is, the speed channel? Good grief. We'll let that rest a little bit first and then we'll go back and fix it. I mean, I can't do it all in one video. The Simple Power Beyond was a 7-part, 2-part series, so, you know, painting this line, that'll be like 14 videos later in the, you know, changing the oil 1 year. So we'll save that for later. Well, we will go ahead and put the oil back in now and see whether we accomplished anything or whether we just made it worse. So I noticed my compensator valve was dripping, and I pulled this out and you can see this O-ring is toast. So I'm going to put a new one on there. I should mention, take note of how many times you turn it out if you take this out. 6.5 on this one. But I have already drilled a hole to put a cotter pin through so it stays where I want it. Because if you don't do that, you're not going to have the right pressure. So that's what you need to do, but it was leaking and might as well fix it now. So we'll take a look at our Chinesium O-ring kit here and see if we can find something that will fit the bill for this. Step one would be to get the old one off, which I'm struggling. There we go. Rip that right in two. That'll fix that. And it is brittle and flat and just not what we want. So now, do we want that one? Do we want that one? Let's try this one. Looks close. Close is good in horseshoes. Looks awfully thick. I don't know that that's what we want. Let's try again. That one looks too small. Will we be able to find the right one like Goldilocks? The one that's just right? Let's try again. Ouch. Nothing like doing the same thing twice. I guess I'll have this one totally destroyed. Getting it back off of here. Maybe it was trying to tell me that it was the one. Let's see how this one looks. A guy could look up and find the correct size, but no need for that. I kind of like how that one is, but I don't know if that's going to be too thick or not. I like the width on it. We can try it, see what happens. All we can do is mess it up, burn up the hydraulic pump, the tractor gets too hot, it catches on fire, burns to the ground and kills me in the process. So if that's the worst that can happen, then, you know, it's not too bad. That's one. That's two. I don't think that O-ring's gonna work. Nope. That O-ring's too tight. It was a nice thought, but no dice. We'll go back to the thin one. Well, we'll put our thin one back in and see how we do. There we go. There's a half turn. Now we'll go in 6. And it should put us back where we were. And it should put us back where we were. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, clean this up good. We'll put our cotter pin in. I had a piece of wire through it, but this is much more better. Maybe. There we go. I guess a guy could put it point end in, but this way it's downhill, so it won't fall out. So I'm going to go with that. Nope. Ah, don't do that. There we go. Our shield will cover that up so it won't look pathetic. And I think that's what we want. I think that will stop that leak. I hope it will stop that leak. Probably it will not stop that leak, but we'll find out. So today I'm going to use the little pump to pump out of our bucket. And this can only go wrong, so no worries there. It'll just make a huge mess if we screw it up. But that's fine, you know? It beats holding a bucket. We'll just turn the air on slow, because it puts out quite a volume, so it won't overwhelm it this way. If I open it up wide open, it'll probably make a mess. But let's see, you know? No, we won't do that. We'll leave it about this speed. When we're empty, we'll check the level, and then we'll add a little more to it out of what we drained out of the tractor before all of our repairs. All right, we're out of that bucket. Get a slug full of, ooh. Let's stop there. I'm sure it's not full. It's in there, but we got to bleed the air out, I think, again, so we'll put a little more in and then we'll bleed the air out. We'll stop with that. I think that's, ooh, right up there to the tippy top. That's not the best, but we'll go drain the air out first, and I would say that'll go down significantly. Gotta open this little valve here. Just gotta open this a little bit. Ooh. And it's already, there we go. I was gonna say, there's bound to be air in there. There's no way that there's not. So, we'll let it sit here until she starts running out pretty good, and then we'll close it up. Well, you're gonna get yet another 1855 cold start, so here we go. Almost, come on. We'll let it sit a second. And our oil level has dropped, so that's good. Should be about right. I should also mention that our arms stayed about half mast this time, so I must have done it some good while I had all that apart. Time will tell, of course, but it does look dry right here where it did not before. So there's a little pocket down in here that's collected some sludge or something, so probably should clean that out. But other than that, I think we got that taken care of. Well, I got it all washed up and I got the floor put back down, and I think we are officially back to the point that we were when everything went wrong way at the beginning of putting the Power Beyond on. We're ready to put the console back on the tractor, so we have to take 3 bolts loose, and hopefully it will just sit on there and we'll be able to put it together and have a happy life. But we'll see. I have to take this loose because, well, you can't see me. We have to take this power takeoff lever loose because it goes on top of the console metal. So we'll get this off of here. Oh yeah, we got that. We gotta get that front bolt out. I just kind of screwed it down in there part way. And I think I'm actually gonna have to get a different one for that, because I'm thinking this is one of the ones I replaced and it's too long. Now, I don't remember if I took it loose from the front or if I pulled it over backwards this way. I think I put it on from the front, and now I'm doing it the opposite way. There. I got 3 things to line up. Come on. That go there. Maybe. That goes there. Come on. Something is not kosher here. And I'm not sure what we got. Oh, I see what it is. Our seat adjuster is causing me grief. Well. Oh, I should have put the seat in a different spot before I started. There. No. Oh, come on, baby. We're slowly approaching it, but not really. There. There. Well, that was an ordeal. Now. No. Can I do this without taking a bunch loose? I don't know. There. Maybe. Kind of. Sort of. Not really. Failure. No. There. That's where it needs to be. God! 3-point arm. You're right in my way. There's 2 in the hole. And we'll take a pause while I find a shorter bolt here. Okay, so we got that together. The only thing left now is to put our knobs on. And I got one new one here because it was split. And hopefully everything will be fine when we put it back together here. Let's see. Got that there. Put this one here. Now we'll start it up and make sure our 3-point linkage doesn't bottom out like it was doing. And then we'll call this done. Okay. Raise it up. Ooh. It's still too high. So we need to adjust our linkage because this needs to be about where it is when it's all the way up, so you can raise it a little bit by hand. I'm afraid it's just a little too much. Yeah, that's tight. We don't want that. Okay, more work. We gotta adjust our linkage. Okay, so we need to shorten this linkage, I believe, to give ourselves more free travel. But I noticed something when I came up here to check on this, and that is that the pin has fallen out of this, so it is probably a good time to just take this off and buff up the rod good and make sure we put a pin back in there so that doesn't fall off, because that would not be a good thing. So we'll go ahead and get to that, and then we'll try to do our adjustment. Okay, so I have shortened the rod. You can see about that much, maybe you can. But anyway, we're gonna put that on and try and see if that's enough. Come on, there we go. And we'll put these in. Might as well bend them over right, because we're sure that we did it right the first time. Don't we think? Should be able to change it without taking the pins out, but replace it with the too long cotter pin. That's always good. Put this one in here. There we go. So now we'll fire it up and see what we got. We have, with it all the way up, we could probably decrease that free travel a little bit, but I think it's pretty good. I think it's more than a ½ an inch, but I might be wrong. That's about right. Put it all the way down. Try it again. It stops right there. I think I'm going to leave it there for now. I can always add more later, but I think that's an adequate amount of lifting height, so we'll stop with that. Well, I think we're officially done with everything we were going to do to this tractor. I was going to redo some of the fuel lines. I may still do that, but otherwise it's ready to go. And we'll check up under here, but you can't really see. You probably can. But I don't think our compensator is leaking anymore. Feels dry, so that's good. We fixed that with the O-ring. Everything else down here looks pretty well dry, so I think we really made some improvements while we were here. As always, if you enjoy my videos, give them a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss whatever's coming next. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.